Okay, come here. I already told to you day one onwards till today how many topics covered. I will provide you the videos. Okay, so far we covered HTML basics and CSS basics. Now JavaScript. We already started yesterday. Okay, just variables and methods topics completed. Okay, 3 or 4 classes are required for JavaScript. These all are required for React, so that we are going to discuss. Okay, now HTML to JavaScript. Okay, I will provide that videos. Okay, today I will get that videos. Okay, that links I can get. Okay, so once I get it, I will share with you. Okay, React not yet started. Most probably React will start from Monday onwards, 21st. Okay, okay then let's start. I have one function is there, function f1, which take one argument. Now by seeing this one, what you can say? My f1 take one argument. Which type of argument this is? Can anyone tell? Which type of argument this is? Which type of argument? Here there is no type, nothing. It's not like a type strict like java.net. Okay, no type, nothing, so that we can pass any type of data or not. We can pass any type of data. Okay, here if you observe, see my function f1, one argument is taken. Here a, how you are using, here you didn't use a, so that simply any type of data you can pass it, no problem at all. There is no errors, nothing. See here, there is no errors, nothing. Okay, sometimes we are going to use this a, not sometimes, most of the times. Why? Because if you not pass, okay, if you not use this one, what he passed, then the time what is the use of this argument? You should have to use it. So this is my function. This is my function, which take like two arguments, for example, which take like two arguments a comma b. I'm using these two arguments like this, my console.log of a plus b. And that time you can say like my a and b values are lot. You are using a and b or like what? Adding. Okay, here see, you are using like plus symbol, right? You are adding this argument value and this argument value or not. So that when you can add, if my a and b are the numbers, we can add it. For example, you can pass like a string also, then the time my plus operator is going to working like what? Concatenate operator or not, concatenate this string and this string or not. So if you come here, this is my f1. If you pass like numbers, yes, okay, this is like valid output or not. Okay, I pass like 10 and 20, I can get like 30. Okay, sum of two numbers. Okay, if you pass like a string also, okay, Sachin Tendulkar. Okay, this also seems like valid only or not. Concat the string and the string, the total string is like Sachin Tendulkar. Okay, for example, other than this, if you pass like any other value, array and array, if you pass, what is the output? If you pass this one object comma object, is it valid outputs? No. Okay, see, there is no error, nothing, but these are not like a valid. So based on the usage, you have to understand like which type of data I have to pass, which type of arguments, okay, which type of values you have to pass as an argument. You have to decide. You have to decide. Now I will do some change here. Okay, here I want to do some change like this. Okay, project. Now come here. If you come to this particular one, f1, which take two arguments, if I write like this, can anyone tell? Can anyone tell? By seeing this one, what is my A type, what is my B type? What is my A type, what is my B type? What is my A type? See, my f1 take two arguments here. Okay, what is my A argument type, what is my B argument type? Means, see, the usage. You are using A like what? You are using A like what? You are using A like a function or not. See here, this parenthesis you are using for one variable is nothing but one variable reference is nothing but that variable should be the type of what? Function or not. Any programming language you take, okay, you see this particular parenthesis, this syntax is nothing but this value should be a function or not. You are calling a function. It's a function called syntax. So that when you can call, if my A is a function, then only we can call it or not. If my A is like a number, can I call it? Okay, if my A is a string, can I call it? If my A is like array or object or something, can I call it? No. Okay, always my A should be what? Function or not. So my first argument type is what? A function. What about B? What is the type of this B? What is the type of this B? How you are using this B? Just simply I am using like what? Printing. Okay, print that B. Okay, if you number, if you pass, yes, we can print it. Okay, if you string you pass, yes, I can print it. Yes, array or object, any type or not, anything you can pass it. Okay, to print that one, whatever the data he passed, that one I'm going to print it. Okay, but here this one should be what? A function or not. See, if I click on enter, okay, my function loaded or not. What about this undefined? What about this undefined? Why this undefined came? Okay, is it like any variable value or something? No. Once my statements executed inside the console, okay, for confirmation message, this is okay. The statements, yes, all the statements executed from okay, line number 1 to okay, lost, okay, end of this particular one, all executed like this one. Confirmation, this is undefined. It's not like a any variable value or something. Okay, see the difference between this undefined and this undefined. For example, one variable I created var a. If I click on enter, can anyone tell? First, it's going to show like undefined. Undefined. What is this undefined? What is this undefined? Okay, this statement executed. That is the confirmation message. That's it. Okay. Now, what is my a value? You created one variable. There is no initialization, nothing. Then that what is the a value? My a value is like undefined or not. This is the value. This is the value, and this is not like okay. This is the confirmation message. More than that, nothing. Okay, now my a value is like undefined. Now my a value is like undefined. If you perform any operation on this undefined value, if you perform any operation on undefined in JavaScript, you can get an error. Okay, 90%. Okay, while writing the code, you are facing this type of issue. So that the error messages are very, very important. If you know the error message, okay, then the time in future, if you face the same, if you see the same error message, you can fix that error. Exactly what is the issue? Okay, most of the times you can see these error messages. See here. Okay, if you write like this, okay, see this as an error is there. Why this error throws me? It's very simple thing. Read this one. Cannot read property length of undefined. Error messages are very, very important. Any programming language. If you know exactly the error message meaning, then the time in future, if you see the same error message, you can easily fix that error. Okay, see here. Cannot read property length of undefined is nothing but see a dot length is my statement. Okay, while executing this statement only, I get this error or not? This error throws. Okay, now a value is what? A value is what? See here, where a I am not initialized anything, so that my a value is like what? Undefined. Okay, undefined dot length. Okay, now you are calling length. You are using the length. You are getting the length value from undefined or not. In JavaScript, on undefined, you are not able to perform any operation. So that he send one message like what? He throws one error message like what? Cannot read property. I am not able to read the property length property on what? Of undefined or not. I am not able to read it. Understand or not? In your JavaScript, we are not able to perform any operation on undefined. Understand? Okay, here there has one more value is there. Null is there. Okay, null is a one type of value, initialized value. Now my a value is like what? Null. Now here also a dot length. If you put it, then the time once again it gives me an error. What is that? Cannot read property length of null. That means this length property you are reading from where? Null. In JavaScript, okay, on null also if you perform any operation, then the time it throws an error. Then the time it throws an error. So that a dot length, my a value is null, cannot read property length of null. So now onwards, if you think like this particular value, okay, maybe we can get like undefined. Maybe okay, you maybe sometimes you can get like a value, sometimes maybe okay undefined values. Then that time if you perform directly this operation, sometimes it throws an exception also. Because of this reason, total application is going to break. So that you have to check if my a value is there, then only perform this operation. Otherwise don't do that one. Write one condition, or otherwise you can write like exception handling, try catch, finally you can use it. Okay, In JavaScript, we should not perform any operation on what? On undefined and length of a dot length is nothing but on null also. Okay, let's start. Come back again. Now this is the function. Okay, this is the function. Okay, how we can debug this one? How we can debug? If you want to debug, just write one keyword called as a debugger. If I call directly like this, can anyone tell what is my a value, what is my b value? First, if I call directly like this without passing any arguments, my f1 take how many arguments? 2 arguments, but you are not passing anything. Then the time, what is the value? My a value is like undefined, my b value is like undefined or not. You are not passing any value is nothing, but you are not initializing. Okay, if the initialization is not happened for one variable in your JavaScript, which one is the default value, undefined or not? See, a value is like undefined, my b value is like undefined. See, you written the code in the console. Okay, debugging mode, we are going to move to. If you want to debug your code, okay, it is going to move to which tab? Source tab or not? Source tab for what? All your source code you can see it, as well as you can debug your code or not. See here, my a value is like undefined, b value is like undefined. Line number 3, can anyone explain? You are calling a. You are calling a. You are calling a is nothing but my a should be what? When you can call? My a should be a function. If my a is a function, then only we can call it, right? But in this case, what is my a? Is it function or undefined? It's not a function, it's an undefined. Then that time, obviously, my a is undefined. Okay, you are calling undefined. We should not call. What you can call? We can call a function. But here my a is like a undefined. So it throws an error. See here. Which type of error means? Okay, by seeing that error, you can understand easily. See this console. A is not a function. See this? What is the error message? My a is not a function. Why? My a is not a function. What is my a? You not pass any value is nothing but my a is undefined. Is undefined is a function? No, right? So that it throws an error like what? A is not a function. So can we pass one more? Okay, can we pass some arguments now? 10, 20. Now see this. What is my a value? My a value is like 10. My p value is like 20. These are the basic things. Okay, for React, JavaScript is very, very important. Most of the times we are going to write this type of code directly. Okay, if you don't understand this type of code, like if you pass one function as an argument, if you written one more function, okay, how we can handle that function, these are all things you should know. Okay, let's see. My a value is like what? 10. My b value is like what? 20. Okay, now my a is like 10. Now you are doing what? You are calling. You are calling. You are calling. Okay, then you can call. When you can call, if it is a function, then only I can call it. But my 10 is a function. In the past, undefined. Undefined is not a function. Now it's like 10. Is my 10 is a function? My 10 is a number. It's not a function. So that again, it gives me an error like what? Again, now this time my a is 10, but 10 also not a function, right? 10 also not a function. Now, if I pass like f1 of, okay, Sachin, comma, okay, anything you can put. Okay, now what is my a value? My a value is like Sachin, and my b value is like what? 219 or not? Okay, now again tell me, my a is like a Sachin, right? Okay, my Sachin you are calling. That means string you are calling. Is it possible to call string? What you can call? Function. Again, it gives me the same error now. This time also you are not passed. What you passed? A string you passed or not? Again, it gives me the same error. Now, if you fix this error, which one you have to pass as an argument? Which value you want me to pass as an argument? If you didn't pass, a value undefined. If you pass 10, a is number. If you pass like string, okay, Sachin, a is string. Okay, number also I'm not able to call. Undefined you are not able to call. String you are not able to call. What you can call? I can call a function only or not. So that you should have to pass my first argument like what? A function or not. You should have to pass my first argument. My f1 first argument is what? Function you have to pass it. So how you can pass? If it is like a nothing is there, you can pass like this. 10. Okay, it's number directly I know. Okay, how to write the number value. How to pass string like this. I want to pass one function. How you can pass the function? If you want to pass the function, first of all, function is required or not? Can we create one function now? If the function is not there, how we can pass it? Okay, can we create one function now? How we can create? You know, right? In JavaScript, how to create a function? F2. This is my function. Okay. Can I put the debugger here also? Okay. Can I write one message? Console.log of F2 called. F2 called. F2 called. So my F2 one function is there or not? Okay. Overall, how many functions are there? Now see. F1 is one function. F2 is one function. F2 is one function. Anyone tell? I want this output. I want this output. Console.log F2 called. I want this output. What I can do? How we can get this output? If you want to get this output, how we can call, how we can get it? See this console message inside the body, right? When my body is going to execute by calling or not. So that if you want that output, you can call that one F2. You can call it. See my F2 called. Okay, now my console message is going to print like F2 called. See here, my F2 called or not. It's like a direct call. One function is there, just I'm calling that function. That's it. That's like a direct call. That one, you know, one function is there, I can call it. Okay, but is there any other way is there? Call this function indirectly means yes, we can. Okay, how we can means see this my F1. My F1 take how many arguments? My F1 take 2 arguments. What is my first argument? A. My A is nothing but here. How you are using A? I'm using like a function. I'm using like a function so that my F2 is there, right? That is also function, right? Can we pass that function here as a first argument? As a first argument. And then what is my B value? Okay, console.log of B, the usage is like this. So that any value can pass it or not. Okay, any value can pass it. Now, can I click on enter? Now see this. My F1 take 2 arguments. My first argument is not a undefined, it's not a number, it's not a string. What is that? My argument A is what? F is nothing but function. Which function? F2 function or not. That means internally my A contains, internally my A holds which function? F2 function or not. Now come here, come here. Here what he is doing? Line number 3. What he is doing? Line number 3. What he is doing? He is calling A. He is calling A. Okay, when you can call? If A is a function. Now my A is a function or not? Okay, which function is there? F2 function is there. That means you are calling A is nothing but internally. You are calling what? Internally you are calling F2 function or not? Why? Because my A holds F2. Okay, you are internally calling F2 is nothing but my F2 body will execute or not? Now see this. My F2 body will execute. See, my control comes here or not? Now tell me, did you call my F2 directly or indirectly? You are calling this F2 with another reference A or not? Indirectly you called or not? Okay, now see this function body executed, my console message printed, again it comes to my console.log of B. My B value is this one. Now both printed or not? See here, F2 called, F2 called, and 34343 printed or not? 34343 printed or not? Got it or not? Okay, in this case my F2 called executed, not like a direct call. Okay, indirectly we are calling this F2 or not? Okay, if the method which you call indirectly, those type of methods we are going to call like a callback methods. Callback methods. Okay, direct. Okay, we are not called directly. Okay, we are calling with another reference. So define a callback function. Say very simple thing. Okay, what you did syntactically, okay, how you pass one function to another function, that one only you can define. Okay, simply, this is my function F1. Okay, this is my F1 function. This is my F2 function. This is my F2 function. Here I am calling my F1, F2 comma, like this I called. Like this I called. Here I said like my F2 called indirectly or not. My F2 called indirectly, so that my F2 is like a callback function. So you can define it. One function. Okay, here one function is nothing but F2. One function we are going to pass as a argument to another function. See here, my F2 we pass as an argument to F1. Inside that function, we are calling with another reference. That type of functions we are going to say like a callback function. Okay, one function we pass as an argument to another guy. Give one function to some other person. That person is going to call with what? Another reference or not? Okay, now I given this f2 to another guy. Who? F1. That F1 he called with what? Another reference or not? That type of functions we can say like a callback functions or not. Okay, give one function to some other person. That person is going to call with another reference. See here, my f2 call with another reference what? A or not? A. That type of functions we can say like what? Callback function or not. Here, which one we passed as an argument? F2. So that function we can say like a callback. Okay, which function take one function as an argument? My f1 take one function as an argument or not? That type of functions we can say like a higher order functions. The function which take one function as an argument, that type of functions we can say like what? Higher order functions, HOF. Okay, one of the concept is there higher order components are there. Okay, here if you observe, okay, let me open our content, open folder. No, where is that? Local disk will be my classes. This is ours. Okay, let me open that folder. Okay, here you can see one topic is there. Open the content of txt file. Okay, HOC is here. Higher order components. Okay, if you know the definition of higher order function, remove the function text, replace with component. That's it. Okay, how we can define higher order function now? The function which take one function as an argument, that type of functions we can say like a higher order. Okay, here the function which take one component as an argument. Okay, one component as an argument. Okay, that type of components we can say like a higher order components. Okay, the definition is same. Okay, how we can see later at the time of the discussion. Okay, what is callback? What is higher order? Now you know, right? The function which you pass as an argument to another function, that function is, you can say like a callback. Okay, the function which take one function as an argument, that one we can say like a higher order function. Okay, the higher order function, sometimes it may return one more functions. Okay, a higher order function sometimes it returns one more function. Okay, sometimes may not. Sometimes may not. Okay, write one more example by returning the value. This is my function. This is my function. Okay, just leave it. Now write it. I have a function f1. Okay, which take two arguments, a comma b, a comma b. What is the type of a comma b at this point of time? Any type. If I'm using like this, okay, my a type is what? My a type is what? It's a function. If I'm using like this, my b type is what? It's a function. Okay, if I return this one, okay, return like this. Okay, return like this. Now, can anyone tell about this function? My f1 take how many arguments? Two arguments. What is the type of that arguments? A with parenthesis is nothing but a is a function. B with parenthesis is nothing but b is a function. So that my f1 take two arguments types or what? Functions. And at last, if we come, this f1, this is the return value. Return keyword is there. So my f1 returns what? One more function or not? Returns one more function or not? Can anyone tell? What is this function name? What is this function name? What is this function name? This function, any name is there? Any name is there? If there is no name, nothing, that type of functions we can say like what? Anonymous functions or not? Anonymous functions or not? Okay, let's execute this one. My requirement is very simple thing. Okay, let here such a, okay. See, this is your input function. This is your input function. My output should be in the alert box. First, the alert box. Okay, first narration ID I want. First narration ID. The next one, 𝕠𝕠𝕣 I want. Okay, after that, first alert box, Naresh IT. If you close this one, 𝕠𝕠𝕣 has to come. One more alert. Okay, if you close that one, in another alert, I want Satya. I want Satya Technologies. Like this, I want. My output should be like this. 3 alert boxes I want. First alert box, Naresh IT. Second alert box, 𝕠𝕠𝕣. And my third alert box is like Satya. Okay, that is my requirement. Can anyone tell how you can call this function to get that output? Okay, how we can call this function to get this output? First, my f1 take two arguments. Two arguments types are what? Functions. So that if I call my f1 like this, can anyone directly tell me what is my output? What is the error message? What is my error message? What is my error message? If you call like this, any value you pass, you didn't pass anything. If you didn't pass anything, what is my a value and b value? My a and b values are like what? Undefined or not. My a and b values are like undefined. So that a value is like undefined. Can I use my undefined like a function call? When you can use like a function. If a is a function, then only we can call it. So it gives me what? A is not a function. This is my error message or not. Okay, if you pass like 10, if you pass like 10, same error message. If you pass like string, same error message. If you pass like an array, same error message. If you pass like a object, same error message. If you pass like a boolean value, same error message. If you want to avoid this error message, what is the argument you have to pass? Which argument you have to pass? You should have to pass one function as an argument or not. So can we pass one function as an argument for first one? Yeah. Okay, how we can pass? Two types of functions are there. One is like anonymous function, another one is like named function. One is like anonymous function, another one is like what? Named function. Okay, anything, it's like function or not, it is going to check it is an anonymous or named, is not a matter. So that can we pass one function here, function like this? Any problem with this code? Any problem with this code? Still error is there. What is the error? We'll see here. This is which type of function? It's an anonymous function or not. If the name is not there, is it possible to call directly? Anonymous function not having any name. If the name is not there, is it possible to call directly? How you can call name is not there? So directly it's not possible. Indirectly you have to call it or not. If you call indirectly, that type of methods are what? Callback methods or not. So my anonymous functions always like what? Callbacks only or not. Okay, directly we are not able to call it. You have to give to some other person. That person is going to call with another reference. That's it. Okay, so that all anonymous functions are what? Callback functions only. Directly we are not able to call it. Okay, perfect. Now there is one more error is there. What is that? B is not a function. Why? Why? Because okay, first argument you passed, this value go to A. My second argument you didn't pass, right? If you not pass anything, what is my value? My b value is what? Undefined or not? So that is my undefined is a function? No. So that it gives me error like this or not. So if you pass like 10, same error. If you pass like a string, same error. If you pass like an object, an array, whatever it is, it gives me the same error or not? So because okay, I am expecting my b is like what? I am calling b is nothing but my b should be a function or not. So my second argument also what? Second argument also function only. Now see, there is no errors. Okay, now tell me, my a is nothing but this one. My b value, my b holds what? This one or not? This one or not? Now this function go to a, go to a. So what you are doing a? What you are doing with a? You are calling a is nothing but you are calling this function or not? You are calling this function. You are calling one function with what? One argument or not? Okay, you are calling one function with one argument is nothing but that argument you have to hold here or not? Can we hold it? Okay, how you can? One argument reference. Anything you can put it. X, Y, Z, whatever you want, you can put it. Now tell me, this function go to my A. Okay, you called A with one argument is nothing but indirectly you called which function? This function only with one argument, so that my NIT comes to my X or not. Okay, you called A with one argument, that A function is this one, so my NIT hold with this argument or not. So what you want? Value should be what? In the alert or not. So when we type in the alert box, first part completed or not? First part completed. The same syntax we will use in Redux part. Same syntax. Okay, the next one is what? B. Okay, B is nothing but this one. What you are doing with the B? What you are doing? What you are doing? You called B is nothing but this function is going to call or not. Okay, inside this function, this body will execute. Okay, inside this body, they write one alert message. What's wrong with this? Okay, did you pass any data? It didn't pass any data. Then the time, can we write my second alert box should be what? 𝕨𝕚𝕥𝕚𝕚, right? Can you write like 𝕨𝕚𝕥𝕚𝕚? You only ask 𝕨𝕚𝕚𝕚. Okay, that is my second one. Now, these two things completed. These two things completed. What is the next one? Can you come to this part now? Can you come to this part now? Now, my f1 returns some value or not, so that my f1 returns, see this function returns, which value it returns? It returns not a normal number or string or something, it returns a function. So the total thing gives me what? A function. So what I can do with that function? Can we call that function? If I call this one, then the time this function, the return function is going to execute. Inside the return function, what we have? My alert such is there or not? Yes or no? Not okay. Window. The alert is inside window only. The alert is inside window only. But here the thing is, all the methods and variables which is inside window. Window is the super object, right? So that there is no need to write each and every time. Each and every time by default, my browser can recognize that one. There is no need to write every time. Okay, which is inside window only. Okay, that is the swapper object. By default, that swapper object is available where? Inside my console, so that there is no need to write each and every time window. But window.alert also writes syntax. Directly you can write alert also. Now come here, see. If I click on this one, see, first Naresh IT. Okay, if I close this one, next 𝕨𝕚𝕚𝕚. If I close this one, the next is like such. This is only our final output or not. Yes or no? Here tell me. And these two are like what? These two are like what? Higher order or callbacks? Higher order or callback? These two are. These two methods. These two are like a callbacks or not, which are passing as an argument to some other person. That's it. Don't think more. It's a callback or not. Okay, F1 is what? F1 is what? F1 is a higher order function or not? Why? It's take one function as an argument. It's take one function. One function is enough. Okay, more functions also is not a matter. It's take one function as an argument. Now, in this case, it returns one more function. Okay, it returns. It may return, may not return. It's not a matter. It should take one argument. That's it. One function as an argument. That one is like a higher order or not. That's it. This is the way my callbacks and my higher orders are going to work. Any questions so far? Very, very important. The Redux topics are there, right? Okay, most of the times we are going to use that syntax. Most of the times we are going to use that syntax. Okay, this one is like a function call up to here. Okay, this F1 returns me what? One function. Okay, if this one is returns a function, what? How we can call that function? By using this one or not? By using this one or not? That's it. Okay, this is only one, right? To call your function. Okay, this one is nothing but this call is nothing but your return function call, return function call. Okay, any other questions? Okay, then go to the next topic. Okay, how we can create one array? How we can create one array? Okay, how we can create a variable? If you want to create a variable, like this you can create, right? Like this you can create. Okay, variable. Okay. If you want to create an array, how you can create? Just you can assign the value, array value or not. Okay, same like this. Which type of data types are there? Which type of data my var can hold? Which type of data? My var can hold no data. Okay, it can hold a number. It can hold a string. It can hold a string. So there is no issues. Okay, it can hold an array. It hold these many types of data are there. Okay, in your JavaScript, it can hold a Boolean value. Okay, it can hold a function also. A function also. Function also. A is what now? A is a now. Yes or no? Okay, here there is no type strict nothing. My var is the data type. It can hold any type of data or not. It can hold any type of data. Now, when you go for this one, when you go for this one, array, when you go for number, when you go for string, when you go for object, when you go for Boolean, okay, you know, right? If you want to hold a normal number, okay, whole number or whatever it is, okay, just you can assign this number to one variable. Wherever you want, how many times you want, you can use it or not. Okay, string also same like this. If you want to represent a set of characters, just you can hold with one variable. Okay, with what? With double quotes or single quotes. When you go for array, when you go for array, when you go for array or object is important. When you go for array, if you want to represent multiple elements in a single variable, okay, only one element is there 10, yes, you can go with that. Okay, only one value is there Sachin, yes, you can go with that. For example, 3 players are there. 3 players are there. How we can represent multiple players? By using an array or not. Okay, in the array, you have to place like Sachin, Dhoni, Kohli, like this. You can put it or not. Understand or not? Okay, now then you can go with object. If you want to represent multiple elements, then you can go with an array. Multiple elements. Then you can go with an array. When you go for object, can anyone tell? When you go for object, okay, very simple thing. If you want to tell something about one particle, if you want to tell something about one particle, for example, my particle is like, I want to tell something about bus. I want to tell something about one player, Sachin. Okay, if you want to tell something about one particle, then you can go with an object. Okay, I want to tell something about Sachin. What I can say? His name, Sachin. Okay, his runs, 20,000. Okay, his hundreds, 100. Okay, his location, Mumbai. Okay, like this, if you want to tell something about one particle, then you can go with what? Object or not. Okay, now this is the Boolean one. Okay, true and false values. If you want to manage, then you can go with that one. Okay, this is like a function, same normal function only, but anonymous function you can. This is like an anonymous function. If you want to make it as like a named one, now you can assign this function to one variable. Now this function we can call with what? A or not. Like this, multiple different data types are there. Okay, can we go with the object now? Okay, this is an important one. Okay, why we go for object? How we can create an object first? obj equals to this one. This is my object. There is no data, nothing. There is no data, nothing. I said like when you go for an object, if you want to represent some data about one particle, I said now my particle is like a one player, Sachin. Okay, so I want to put Sachin data inside this object. So how we can? Very simple thing. This is my object. Okay, by seeing this one, you can say like what? There is no data, nothing. There is no data, nothing. Now here I want to add some data. Whatever the data we are going to add inside the object, that data we are going to call like a properties. We are going to call like a properties. Okay, if you are the Java guys, map is there. Map. Okay, if you are the Python guys, dict is there. A dictionary. Okay, dot and also same like as map is there. Collections. Okay, same like this here also, object also is going to work like that, only similar. Okay, see here, properties. Whatever the data, if you want to place inside the object, we can say like the data we are going to call like what? Properties. Now property again, it's a combination of key value pairs. It's a combination of what? Key value pairs. So if you want to insert some data inside this object, okay, what inputs are required? Okay, if you want to insert some data is nothing but I want to insert some property. Property is nothing but what? Key value. So if you want to insert some data inside this object, what inputs are required? Key and value inputs are required or not. If you know the key and value, we can insert the data inside my obj or not. So how you can insert the data syntactically means there has two ways are there. One is like by using dot notation, another one is like by using square bracket notation. One is like dot notation, another one is like what? Square bracket notation. Okay, so where you want me to insert, I know. what I want to insert, I know. Okay, then the time by using this particular syntax, can we insert this key value pairs inside my obj? Okay, so how we can? One is like by using dot notation, other one is like by using square bracket notation. So come on, let's start with dot notation. So where you want to insert? Insert obj is my object. So can we give like proper name like a player object? Player object. Okay, where you want me to insert? Inside my player object. Okay, by using dot notation, so that you can write like a dot. What do you want me to insert? Key values. What is the key? His name is my key. His value is like a Sachin. See, now one property inserted. Where? Into my player object or not? Can you check here? Can we check here? See this? Okay, if you want to clear this console, this is the button. Just clear. Where player object equals to this one. Player object equals this one. There is no data, nothing is there. This is only the proof. Okay, make it habituate to use this console. Use this console. Well, because as a UI developer, it is always open here. Okay, if you want to check instantly anything, okay, open the console, just type it. If you want to check anything, JavaScript related stuff or debugging purpose, everything. Okay, we are going to use console, source, elements, network, and application. These 5 tabs very, very important for UI developers. Okay, let's start. Inside my player object, okay, I want to insert one property. Okay, how many ways we can insert? By using dot notation or by using square bracket notation. Okay, let's go with the dot. Okay, which property you want me to insert? Name. What is my value? Such. One player object. Okay, one property inserted. See here. In the past, my player object is like empty. Now my name such inserted or not. Can we insert one more property? Yes, same syntax you can use. Player obj dot is runs how many? 20,000. Yes, my player obj is this one. Now see how many properties are there inside my player object. Inside my object, how many properties are there? 2 properties are there. 2 properties are there. Now you can say one property is this one, another property is this one. How we can differentiate one property to another property? How we can differentiate? By using comma. One property to another property, if you want to differentiate, how we can differentiate? By using comma. Here, key and values are there. Property contains what I said, key and value. Key to value, how we can differentiate? Key to value, how we can differentiate? By using colon or not. See here, by using colon or not. My object is a set of properties. One property to another property we can differentiate with comma. My property is a key value pair. My key to value we can differentiate with colon or not. Like this, how many properties you can insert? Any number of properties you can insert. Any number of properties. Okay. Now, can I write one more property? Player object dot full name. What is the full name? Sachin Ramesh Tendulkar. Okay, Tendulkar. Now see, it gives me an error. It gives me an error. Okay, why this error means? Can anyone guess what you find? Okay, can anyone observe? See here, this is the key. Okay, this is the key, but here there is no spaces, nothing is there. But my full name, my key has some space or not. If my key has some space, okay, then that time my dot notation will never work. Then you can go with what? Another one. How many ways I said? Okay, that another one is like square bracket notation or not. Okay, this is my square bracket. What is my key? Full name. Okay, what is my name? Sachin Ramesh Tendulkar. Is the one or not? Okay, see here, player obj. My full name also inserted or not? Okay, let's go with another one. Player object dot object of location. Anyone else, will it work or not? Location equals to Mumbai. Okay, 2 people can join exactly at 8 o'clock because another class will start with the same link at 9 a.m. So exactly we have to stop at 9. So let's start. Player object of location. Is my location having any spaces? Do we have any spaces? There is no space, nothing. Still my square bracket notation is going to work. Still my square bracket notation is going to work. That means my dot notation is going to work for what? Only the element, the keys which is not having any spaces. Okay, my square bracket notation is going to work what? Okay, my key which is having the spaces or not having the spaces, it's going to work for both or not. This is the way we are going to insert the data. This is the way we are going to insert the data. Understand? Okay, if you anyone join from today onwards, if you want the content and everything, this is our website. Okay, React. From this website, you can download that content. This is our website. Okay, just click on that. Okay, here the today's class link. From here you can get the content. Okay, tomorrow I'll place our videos also in this link only. From there you can. Okay. Okay then. Thanks guys. Thanks for joining. Okay, exactly 8 o'clock you can join because okay 9 o'clock they are going to end this session. Bye.